Hey everybody, Joe Casabona here, and today I want to tell you a little bit about my process for getting sponsors and then working with them. I recently just launched an update to my course, Podcast Liftoff, where I have an entire section on how to get sponsors and how to price your offering. But I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes look at exactly what I do for my sponsors. And if you stay till the end, I will actually do a live sponsor read on this video that's going to go out for the next set of episodes. So if you have any questions about my process while you're watching this, feel free to leave a comment. If you are enjoying this video, be sure to like and subscribe. But let's get into my process a little bit. So I made a little bit of an outline here in drafts. So let me bring that up on the screen here. So you can see that I have a multi-step process here. First, I will do outreach. Outreach generally involves me making a list of potential sponsors that I think would fit with certain episodes or the overall motif of the season. So for 2021, I'm going to focus on being productive at home. I know it's maybe a little late for timely, but it also has given a lot of people who were not used to working at home a chance to really find their productivity. So I'm going to interview a bunch of people on that. I'm going to give my own tips as somebody who's been working from home for most of my professional career. So as I think about the content for that season, I am also going to do the outreach and look for sponsors who might fit the bill for that content, like people who make standing desks, for example, or people who focus on creating productivity tools, people or companies that fit in with the being productive while working from home theme of the season. I write pretty personalized emails to all of those people. I have a simple template that kind of, I want to fill in like the details and I want to say who I am the same way every time, but I want to make sure this pitch is personalized so that people aren't just getting like a boilerplate email saying like, hey, give me money. I want it to be like, hey, I want to form a partnership because I believe in your product and I believe that your product will do well for my audience. So I email them. If they say, yes, I want more information, I will send them a pitch deck. And I should have had this ready, I guess, but I'll bring it up now. So I'll bring up my pitch deck here. And this is publicly available, first of all, on how I built it. But it has a bunch of information. So my 2021 focus, what I'm going to do, some information about my listeners, and then about my reach and influence, my social reach, and a bunch of other information. Again, I cover how to put together a pitch deck in Podcast Liftoff, but that is what I will send to potential sponsors. If they are interested, we then figure out if they want mid or pre-roll and how long they want the sponsorship or the ad run to go. So once we're ready to book, I send them an invoice and an insertion order. An insertion order is kind of a contract, but it's used primarily in advertising. This is my insertion order. This is another one of the templates that's available in Podcast Liftoff. But what this does is basically say what the ad roll involves, when it starts, how long it's going to run for, what the advertiser gets. So this is not as in-depth as a contract, but it lays out exactly what the advertiser is going to get and when they're going to get it. This is a pretty simple one. I've actually signed some pretty in-depth ones, or not in-depth, just different. Some advertisers will protect themselves by saying like, you know, if we don't hit this many downloads, you'll have to do like a make good episode, they'll call it, or stuff like that. You know, they want to see a certain return on their investment. But for the most part, my insertion order makes no guarantees for that. My insertion order doesn't say like I will get you some amount of downloads. Once we have the insertion order and the payment in place, and I should say again, the payment is due upon receipt. I think I say that you have 10 days to pay the invoice unless otherwise noted. And if you don't, I'm not going to hold those spots. I've been burned in the past where people have said, yeah, I'm totally interested in sponsoring your show on these dates. And then they pull out at the last minute. And then I don't have an opportunity to sell those. So unless we work out a payment plan or anything like that, the episode run or the ad run needs to be paid in full before I do anything. Again, in most cases, I negotiate, you should negotiate. Once we have that in place, we're gonna go into a list of the things I need from the sponsor. So things I need from the sponsor are like logo and link. I always recommend a special deal for listeners because that's what's going to convert. If I could say something like, and just for you, how I built it, listeners, you can get 20% off for the next month or something like that. Or you can get 20% off by clicking on this link. That's going to help convert a bit more. Link, a special link to track clicks, a discount, a logo, and then the talking points. I want to know what they want to cover because if it's up to me, I might highlight things that, they're not ready to highlight or they've highlighted before and they have a new feature. So I usually ask for a list of talking points that I will write the script from. And I write the script based on the talking points and my experience with the product. I always try the product before I roll out the ad because I want to make sure what I'm talking about is good. I want to make sure that it's a good recommendation for my audience. Often I will at least do a trial of the product before I even reach out to the company. So I want to make sure everything is good there. Then I'll write the script and I will read it. All of my scripts are pre-recorded and then they're dropped into the interview. I don't do live reads unless I know like well in advance that I'm going to have those specific sponsors for that episode. Otherwise, I just let the interview run and I drop the sponsor spots in. Now, when I do solo episodes, if I'm recording a solo episode like 2 weeks before it's supposed to air and I already know the sponsors, then maybe I'll do an ad read and I'll make it related to that episode. But most of my interviews are recorded like months before I actually have the sponsors booked or months before I know the full ad schedule. So again, they're pre-recorded. If we look at my screen here, I have decided to share one script. This is for a sponsor I've had basically since June. Yes, Please Coffee. I think that I want to re-record this and I want to speak a little bit more personally about it. So this is the script I was running and I'm going to ad-lib a little bit more here. This is actually a little bit of an experiment. So I have this script up because I want to make sure I hit the talking points, but I'm actually not going to read that verbatim. I'm actually going to read some of the bits and then ad-lib a lot of it. So let me switch my microphone here and then I'll get to actually reading the spot. Okay, so let's, I need to get into the zone a little bit here. So I'm going to hide my screen. I'm going to bring up Garageband. That's where I do all the recording. Okay, so, whoops. Resize this window. You can see all of my sponsors I've ever had over on the side here. Okay, so I've got my script. I've got my recording window. And let's see. So let me bring my face back for this part since I'm going to explain stuff to you. As I read through this, I need it to sound authentic, first of all. I don't want to make it sound like I'm reading because this is, in my opinion, sponsor spots in podcasts like mine are endorsements, right? They are endorsements by the host. I want to sound as genuine as possible, especially for Yes Please coffee. I've been drinking it since June or July. Weekly, they send me a bag. And so I want to make sure that that comes through, that the sincerity comes through in the ad read. So I want to hit the spots. I want to hit the points, but I also want it to sound authentic. So, all right, let's run it here. I'm going to hit record in Garageband, and then we're going to get to it. Hey, everybody. Nope. Hold on. Got to make sure I'm on the right track first. Okay. I need to make sure I'm on the host track here in Garageband because that's recording this microphone. The guest track is actually recording the input from the guest when I'm doing a recording. So this would have gotten nothing. We need to be on the host track. Let's try that again. Hey, everybody, this episode is brought to you by Yes Please Coffee. You've heard me talk about them all summer long, and now we're into the fall. Upgrade your morning with Yes Please. Yes Please is a fantastic coffee subscription. So they send freshly roasted beans to your door. And as somebody who's been using it for about 6 months now, maybe 5 months, I can say that this works like gangbusters. Coffee just shows up to my door. I have not had to worry about buying coffee in a long time. And my wife and I will do that because I have like a little analysis paralysis with coffee. I like to try new coffee. So I usually tell her not to get it from the grocery store. I want to order some. And sometimes we'll run out. Maybe we had a party. Maybe we didn't order enough. Maybe we made like 2 pots one day instead of the normal 1 pot. But we were running out of coffee. I don't have to worry about that with Yes Please. They tick all the boxes because not only do they send me a new bag every week, but each week I get to try a new blend of flavors. So it helps me mix it up a little bit. I don't have to say, oh, I really want to try a new kind of coffee. I get a new kind of coffee every week. It's generally on the lighter side. There are hints of fruit in a lot of them, and I'm not like a coffee expert, but that's what I have detected. So I love it. I've been loving Yes Please coffee for, again, all summer. It helped me get through finishing up my HTML book. It helped me get through 2 LinkedIn learning courses that I recorded, and it has helped me stay awake since the birth of my son, Lewis. So if you are ready to upgrade your mornings with unique blends of coffee beans, sign up for Yes Please Coffee today. You can head over to howibuilt.it/yes and use the code HIBI for $5 off your first shipment in your subscription. And don't worry, you can skip shipments or cancel anytime. Again, that is howibuilt.it/yes and use the code HIBI for $5 off fantastic, delicious coffee beans shipped right to you. Again, that's howibuilt.it/yes. And now back to the show. All right. So I think that was really good. It ran a little long. You'll notice here, right? It's 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Most ads are sold at like 30 or 60-second clips. But again, this is essentially like a love letter, right? This is an endorsement from me for this. So I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Let's listen back to make sure I got it all. So you should be able to hear this as I play it back. Hey, everybody. This episode is brought to you by Yes Please Coffee. You've heard me talk about them all summer long, and now we're into the fall. Upgrade your morning with Yes Please. All right. That sounded really good. My editor will make it sound even better. So I will export this to the How I Built It folder, the sponsor folder. And this is sponsor pre-roll. Yes, please. It's replacing the old one. So I'll just change it out. My editor will be none the wiser. Actually, I should probably make a note to let him know that there is a new read there. And I'll be doing it with another sponsor too. But I just wanted to give you a look at my process. So again, it's outreach, send the pitch deck, book, and that's send invoice and insertion order. I use HelloSign for the insertion orders. It works really well. It allows me to create templates and then fill in the blanks, and I don't have to worry about the awkward signing dance, right? So big fan of that. I'll link that in the description below as well. And then once I do that, I need talking points and I need to try the product. That's really important to me. And in the case of Yes Please, I tried the coffee. They wanted me to like the coffee before we agreed to a sponsorship too. So this is not this. I mean, not that this is part of the sponsorship read, but that's another reason I like them a lot. And so I'll try the product. I'll get the talking points, and then I will put together a script. And just so you know, the talking points for this read are upgrade your morning, coffee subscription shipped right to your door, and you can skip or cancel anytime, and then new unique blends. So I did hit all of those points in between the personal stories and things like that. But that's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to this channel for more great content. If you want to see more about my sponsor process or any process in podcasting, templates and things like that, let me know in the comments below. And thanks so much for watching. Until next time, get out there and build something.